I'm Tracey Halvorsen. I'm the President and Chief Visionary Officer at Fastspot. We're an interactive agency in Baltimore, Maryland. And we specialize in websites, primarily websites and content management systems for a whole slew of clients, but mostly higher eds, cultural institutions, and museums.
Great. Well, welcome, Tracey.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. You have found yourself in a position of leadership, maybe by mistake, maybe by design. Tell me a little bit about how you got there.
Well, it was a little bit by mistake and a little bit by design. I think that I have a hard time being quiet about things, which I think will accidentally propel you into a position of leadership sometimes because you're the one that's willing to take the risk. Mm-hmm. So I guess my willingness to take risk allowed me to, I think, decide that I wanted to do things better than how I saw they were being done, particularly with leading a design agency. I had a lot of great experiences with horrible companies and great people, but like horrible bosses, horrible management processes, horrible cultures. And I just thought, all right, I'm gonna make something better here. And so that's what kind of got me started. So
where did you start? What's the first thing you need to do on that journey?
In terms of starting a company?
Yeah, so you want to do it, you want to create a design agency or studio.
The first thing you do is throw all your furniture out of your house and turn it into an office. At least that's what we did. We really didn't know what we were doing, except we knew we wanted to do good work for good clients with a good team. It was just about, I didn't get into the creative industry to like work till 4 a.m. and be miserable and stressed out. I mean, I would have gone to law school if that's what I wanted to do. Right. So as a creative person, I think the culture that you build and develop is so important because as a creative person, you need that. You're not a 9-to-5-er. You're not, so we just started by, literally just going out and trying to find good clients and do great work for them and just let that build naturally.
And that process of creating a culture, is that something that also developed, or did you have a specific idea of what you wanted it to look like?
I think it always has to develop because every time, a little time goes by, people change, you add new people to the dynamic, you change. I always knew that I wanted a culture that just was very respectful, where everyone felt like they could do their best work. And and a bonus would be if everyone got along and had a lot of fun too. Because I think otherwise it just becomes, it's a job, but you want it to feel like a great job because you want people to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. The difference between the person running the company when there's just a couple of you in your living room and where you are now, tell me a little bit about that transition and how you've made those steps.
Well, I think when you're just a couple people in the living room, you don't really see yourself as the leader. You see yourself, because you're in the trenches.
Just making
coffee.
Just
see yourself with everyone else just panicking, trying to, pay the rent and find work and make things happen. When you get to a certain point, though, you realize, you're the man, which I actually hope I'm never perceived as the man. But suddenly you're like, wow, I am the boss. I do actually have to own that. Yeah. And what does that mean? And, for me, it is always about being a leader and being a role model, hopefully. But I hire people that do much better than I could ever do at what they do. I've great designers, great programmers, great project managers. I always think that what I'm best at is helping everyone move along, but not actually. They're much better at doing the stuff. Yeah. They make me look good.
So your style would be described how?
I think very casual, but intense when intensity is needed. I think everyone knows they can have a beer with me, we can chit chat. I'm not micromanaging, I don't want to micromanage. I love building a team where everyone has a lot of freedom, and if they're doing great work, then that's something, they respect that culture, right. And that culture supports them. But I do think that you have to be willing to make tough decisions quickly when they're needed. Otherwise, you can do a lot of damage.
And when you need guidance or you need direction, where do you go?
I come here.
Thank you.
No, actually, for a long time, I really didn't have a place to go. So it's been super important to network with your peers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for anybody in any industry, you need to network with your peers. And so as a business owner or as a, an agency leader, there aren't that many peers. So I've loved the opportunity to connect with other people that are doing something that similar to what we're doing and bounce ideas around. And I love the transparency and the camaraderie that is in that space.
Right. What is the one thing you'd like to be remembered for at the end of this journey?
That's a good question. I hope people remember me as someone who gave a lot of people a great life. That I empowered a lot of people to have a nice life, to do things they're proud of, to just be happy. If I can make a bigger happy place for more people,
that's pretty noble.
that would be a good thing.
That's good. Tracey, thanks for your time.
Thank you.